Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Modern, and I'm pretty excited about this one. This is from Patreon subscriber Heinz, and Heinz wanted me to explore the combo known as Squeaky-Jiki. And the way that combo works, Scurry Oak, new-ish card. I mean, Modern Horizons 2 is not new anymore, but in the scheme of Modern, it's pretty new. 3 mana, 1/2 with Evolve. Evolve is when a creature enters the battlefield under your control. If that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1 counter on it. Or on this creature, not on the one that comes in. And whenever one or more +1 counters are put on Scurry Oak, you may create a 1/1 squirrel. And then, Ivy Lane Denizen. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So, Ivy Lane Denizen evolves Scurry Oak because it has greater power and toughness. Scurry Oak makes a 1/1. Ivy Lane Denizen sees a green creature enter play, puts a counter on Scurry Oak, which then makes a 1/1. It doesn't care how it got the counters, it just also happens to have Evolve. And then you can make as many squirrels as you like. That is 3-drop into 4-drop into infinite creatures. That is Splinter Twin, #Splinter Twin situation, which means it should be no surprise that I've modeled the rest of this deck after the old Rug Twin decks. Rug Twin was a tempo control deck that had a combo kill in it back in the Splinter Twin days. Blue-Red Twin was the default best deck in Modern, and some folks decided to crack the mirror or like take a different spin on the deck by adding green for beefy creatures like Tarmogoyf. We now have Endurance as well. I actually just needed green because that's what color my combo is. I was forced into green, and I went that direction with it. I've also added Dragon's Rage Channeler as a card selection engine, and also it's just something the opponent has to think about. Like, if they could just leave up Lightning Bolt the whole game and pick off my Scurry Oak, that's too easy to beat. I want to test their Lightning Bolts with Dragon's Rage Channeler. I want to test their Unholy Heats with my Tarmogoyf. I want to challenge their counter magic with my Snapcaster and my own counter magic. And then when the dust settles, combo time. I don't think the current era of Modern lets you just play like tap out turn 3, tap out turn 4, GG. There are very few decks that are going to let you do that, but it is available to us if we happen to get that look. But I've filled the deck with other ways to win, other ways to challenge their answers, other questions to ask, as well as disruptive elements, cantrips, and removal of my own. This deck can just be down with DRC, it can be a Tarmogoyf deck, or it can be a combo deck, and I'm hoping to get a little bit of all of that in the league. The sideboard is just stuff you'd expect out of a Modern sideboard. Force Vigor, Endurance. Chalice is specifically for Living End and Rhino decks. Anger can exile some stuff, kill some creatures, Mystical Dispute, Aether Gust. Like, these are just Modern cards in the sideboard. The exciting part of this deck is Scurry Oak. Everything else should not come as a surprise, but I hope I will surprise at least one opponent with infinite squirrels today. Let's get into this league. In round number 1, we're on the draw against a Lurrus deck of some variety. I'm going to keep this. I have half the combo. I have cantrips and fat creatures along the way. Let's make it happen. Lurrus could be anything. Could be Burn, could be Grixis Control, could be Hammer Time, could be Dagael. Alright, Esper Sentinel is a really good start. It means that I don't want to cast this Serum Visions right away, but I am going to cast my Mishra's Bauble now that I drew a 0 to pay the tax for it. I don't want to give them extra cards. I do believe that I will win this game with my Tarmogoyfs if I just take my time. They're drawing Memnite for the turn. So there's some sort of artifact deck. Urza Saga, no surprise there. Springleaf Drum. Here it comes. Memnite. Is it hammer time? Guard his aid. Okay. I can get hammered on any kind of short notice. Wow, that was a good start. Welcome to modern kids. Okay, I can fetch a basic and put Tarmogoyf into play. That will at least... That doesn't even do anything. Maybe I just need to lean in on Serum Visions and try to combo off. And I am going to pay the Troll Toll. I just don't see a fair plan getting through the start that they've had. Oh, gotta bottom both of those. That hurts. I have a bunch of cards in the sideboard for the Hammer Time matchup. The main deck, my opening hand was just not ready for it. I do have a bunch of removal spells. I got Lightning Bolts. I got all sorts of shit in the main deck. It's not like I'm just ice cold to everything. I'm gonna have to pay 11 if I don't want them to draw a card. That's funny. And now I literally can't win. I guess I could draw Brazen Borrower and bounce the hammer, but it has flash anyway. Yeah, okay. We're dead. That was quick. Go to the sideboard. Important to note, if this was actual Pestermite, I could have possibly tapped the Esper Sentinel, bridge the gap into Splinter Twin. Playing at instant speed, obviously, extremely good compared to not doing that. Okay, Force of Vigor, Engineered Explosives, Alpine Moon, Abrade, Unholy Heat, Brazen Borrower, all cards I'm interested in, Ancient Grudge, interested in. I don't want Chalice, because I have a bunch of ones that I need to cast. That's literally only for the 0 decks. Opponent, Remand's not going to be very good in this matchup, because all their cards are so cheap. They're not going to really have targets for Dispel. I like my removal, obviously. Endurance isn't a huge part of this matchup, certainly compared to all this other stuff that I'm bringing in. Snapcaster is great. I like the cantrips. I like Tarmogoyf. That's a way to win the game kind of quickly. Uh-oh. Am I doing the classic donation deck strategy of just boarding the combo down to basically nothing? I think I have to. I think that Heinz and all my other subscribers, they would prefer to see a successful league to me just losing because I'm trying to meme. If I get a matchup that gives me a little more time to goof around, then maybe I'll goof around then, but this isn't it, and I'm just gonna bring in all the cards to try to stay alive and bring out the clunky cards that don't help me stay alive. Alright, this hand is pretty solid. Cantrip, multiple things that interact with what my opponent's doing, interact with the board. I'm gonna get Steam Vents and cast Serum Vision. Serum Vision on the stack. Through a Misty Rainforest. I'm gonna bottom both of these. I just need more action at this point. Scurry Oak, regrettably not the action I was looking for. Plains, Giver. Okay, I can bolt the Giver as needed. I'm gonna fetch for a basic island to cast this Serum Vision with. Fetching first, because if I scry, I don't want to have to fetch away the cards I just scryed. Scurry Oak again. This Mamma Jamma does not want to go away. I'm gonna bottom both of these, because again, they're not helpful, but we just saw the punish. Normally it's not quite that obvious, because I play more than one copy of a card. But I bottomed Scurry Oak last turn off Serum Vision, a card I didn't want. Then I fetched, shuffling those two cards I didn't want back into the deck, and immediately saw another one. So I undid a lot of the work that my original cantrip did for me. I think it was the right play, just based on what fetch lands and mana I had available. It's just sucks that it happened to hit that hard. Ornithopter, go. You down with DRC? You know me. I think I am going to run out the Misty Rainforest. Again, this is shuffling cards I don't want into my deck with a fetch land, but I think this opportunity... Ooh. Have to exile their own Ornithopter. I could Brazen Borrow this. I actually think that's fucking hot, and I'm going to do it. This is a desperation play, and I want them to burn for it. This might be super aggressive, but I like it. Do I want to mill Alpine Moon? Yeah, I do. That activates the Dragon Rage Channeler, gets a clock going. That was fun. I don't know if it was good, but it was fun. Wow, they just straight up conceded to that. Got him. Okay. They know I'm a Dragon Rage Channeler deck now. Having seen Path to Exile, does it change my interest in Dispel? And I'm pretty sure the answer is still no. Remand still sucks. Yeah, I just have to play to the board. The stack is not where this game is going to be won and lost. I've got a pretty dangerous hand here. I'm on the draw and I have Bobble, so I'm going to see 3 cards before I miss my land drop. And I do have Force of Vigor, which goes a long way in this matchup. I'm going to keep this. Opponent's on 6 already. They've kept 6. And they have Zygarde's Aid. Cryptic Command, just what you want when you're just desperate for a draw. They have Iganjo Castle on top of their deck. Come on, Red Source. Okay, Opt lets me look again. I'll take that. Sanctifier Envec. Okay. I had not planned for that, but I think it's fine. That means that my Tarmogoyf gets to ride. Come on, Green Source. Bottom Snapcaster. Yes. We're in their team. Okay. Are you ready for this? And once I cast this Force of Vigor, that'll put an enchantment and an artifact, or there's already an artifact. It'll put enchantment in the graveyard as well. But Goyf's already going to beat up on this Sanctifier pretty hard. And I do have the Denizen, if necessary. Oh, wow. They're not ready for Force of Vigor. Block. Okay, it's hammer time. That attaches. I have to pitch my only Denizen. My life is pain. Alright, wipe out the Saga and the hammer. Hope they don't have a second hammer in their hand. Fuck. Yeah, whatever. Okay, they have a 12/12 now. Yeah, I mean, they have 2 hammers in their opening hand. Good for you. I'm dead in 2 turns. Dragon's Rage Channeler cannot block this. If I draw this, I lose. Yeah, this is not preordained. If this was preordained, I'd have a chance to get Cryptic looping. But I actually just have to draw an Artifact Destruction spell immediately. Alright, sucks that I drew Moon after I wasted energy on the Urza Saga. That could have destroyed Zygarde's Aid instead. I guess I was just literally dead if I didn't block last turn. That's a concern. Okay, looking for Ancient Grudge, looking for a Braid. Not looking for Unholy Heat. Alright, we're dead. My opponent just had 2 hammers in their opening hand, and that was that. Otherwise, we were in pretty good shape there. Okay, next round. On the play in the second round. And my opponent is a Lurrus deck, which makes this super heavy hand look pretty bad, so I'm going to ship it. This one looks a lot better. I'm going to send the Endurance. I think that Lightning Bolt is going to be good against the Lurrus deck most of the time. And the Opt, obviously great. I'm going to save my Opt till I know what they're up to. Like, the cards you want against Hammer Time are very different than what you want against Grixis, etc. Okay, it is Hammer Time. Looking for red mana here. Found it. Cool. At least my Lightning Bolts are on. That's something. And I can Bolt, Snap Bolt over the next several turns, or Bolt, Bolt, Snap Bolt. Just try to control this the old-fashioned way. I'm not gonna Bolt this Mem Knight if I don't have to, though. Yeah, that's one that I'm more interested in targeting. I'm just gonna zap it in their end step. I'm gonna get the Steam Vents. Like, I don't think I really get to not use my life total as a resource here. Don't really get to play around that. Get that out of here. I can play the Stomping Ground tapped, and I'm still holding up. I think I want to hold up Snapcaster either way. I can Snap Bolt or Snap Opt here, depending on what they do with their turn. Again, I'm just going to take my pokes from Mem Knight. Giver. Okay, that's a real card. And Paladin, also a real card. I'm going to Snap Opt in the end step. Or I think I should... No, I'm going to Snap Bolt and take out the Pure Steel Paladin before the Giver is awake. Okay, deck. Not funny anymore. And now I can block with Snapcaster Mage. If they give Pro Blue, I can Bolt. I could also just Bolt the Giver. But also just take one. I'm just going to take one. Because I can Bolt Giver in the end step, and then block and actually get a trade next turn. Inkmoth Nexus, that's scary. I guess I should have bolted Giver before this thing came in. I can pay the 1, but it just would have been slightly better. Do it the other way. Okay, deck, time to pull ahead. That's enough lands, for real, for real, for real. I think that thinning out my deck of lands is relevant enough at this point that I should play a fetch land here. I'm gonna block Esper Sentinel if it attacks. Okay. Don't think they can currently give a Hammer Flash, but I don't really know what everything this deck does. They also have Luris just waiting. Yep. Okay, Luris in hand. So something like Cryptic Command right now would be a pretty great draw. Gonna get Breeding Pool in the end step, just get all my colors set up. Tarmogoyf, not really what I'm looking for, but I'm not complaining. It will put an end to this beatdown on the board. The Luris is a gigantic freaking problem. There's Luris. Probably gonna get back Giver this turn. This gives me 1 turn to remove Luris, and then we're back to this holding pattern. Or they could get back Paladin while they can. Yep, Giver. 1 draw step to find a removal spell. Gonna thin out the deck some more, get a Steam Vents. Okay, deck, let's do it. Help me out. Unholy Heat. Gonna roast that Luris right now. Get it out. And this is the last attack I'm gonna get for a while. So I'm gonna take it. I am still losing this race. Just if nobody draws another card, I lose this game. Because they can poison me while keeping Tarmogoyf at bay with protection. Alright, you know me. I am not delirious right now. 1 card type short. But let's hold the fort. The fact that it's turn 8 against Hammer Time is a blessing all on its own. That probably means they kept a bad hand, honestly. Okay, let's draw a spell, trigger Dragon Rage Channeler, start pulling ahead. Oh, are you ready? This is a good game to Squeaky-Jiki them. Time to draw an Ivy Lane Denizen and just shut it down. My opponent's over there like, what the fuck? Good question. They're just ramping up their Nexi. This does not have reach. Many tree folk do. This is not one of them. I'm up to 3 poison. Alright, let's draw an Ivy Lane Denizen. Just shut it down. This is our chance. Okay, their hand is empty. Let's go. Squeaky-Jiki. Okay, this is a lot of looks. Opt. Trigger. Ah! 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 Ivy Lane Denizen. Squeaks McJeeks. Evolve. Yes, I'd like to make a squirrel. Ivy Lane Denizen. Put a counter on Scurry Oak. Here we go. So I have an infinitely large Scurry Oak and infinite creatures around it. I just have to decide how many squirrels it'll take to win this game. I could also still just lose. It's possible. Now I'm just clicking for a while. I'll bring you all back in when I'm done with this part of the game. Magic Online just did a weird thing where I got a pop-up that said Unbound Loop Detective, Scurry Oak's automatic trigger or auto yields removed, which is like the opposite of the feature we've been asking for years. We've been asking for the ability to like Unbound Loop Detected, just how many do you want? But instead it's like, you're doing this too much. How can we make you stop? When you want to stop the combo, you can, like, this is not an infinite unbound loop. It can be stopped, is what I'm saying. Like, you just put your counter somewhere else or decline to make a squirrel. Okay, I have enough squirrels to be lethal at this point. I'm gonna make one more. I put the counter on, I think Dragon's Rage Channeler gets a counter here. And then I attack with all my creatures that can attack. Okay, I need them to do what? Is there any single card draw that can win the game here? I'm not sure. I think Hammer costs like 8 to equip, or is it 10? It's a lot. They've seen their draw for the turn and they didn't concede. That's slightly concerning. Didn't get there, Squeaky-Jiki! I don't think we were winning that game without comboing off. I mean, if we just draw like a string of lightning bolts or a Snapcaster Mage, we can pull back in, but I mean, that definitely put it on easy mode. Okay. I'm glad we did it once. Check the box. Now I can sideboard out this combo and not feel bad about it. I am gonna do the same thing I did last round. I think the combo is questionable, Remand is questionable, Dispel is questionable. Alright, Engineered Explosives also comes in. I was wondering why it didn't line up the same, because I missed one. Okay, here we go. Combo's still available. It's in the deck. Am I supposed to bring in Anger of the Gods here? Maybe this should be Kozilek's return due to the Sanctifier. I'm willing to believe that. I'm keeping my hand. It's got Lightning Bolt in it. That's a start. Tarmogoyf can beat down. I can do the scry trick with a bobble myself with a fetch land and decide if I want to keep it or not. Opponent mull to 6. Springleaf Drum, you got it. So bobble myself, decide if I want that. Another bobble. Does that even matter? I don't think I want that. Oh, I'm gonna fetch and shock. I have triple blue already. I could get double red and double green by getting Stomping Ground, so I think that's the play. If I draw an opt, I'm gonna regret that, but I have the Lightning Bolt. I'll just roll with the card that I do have. Okay, Ancient Grudge. Welcome sight in this matchup for sure. Here's this jerk. And Pure Steel Paladin. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go to my turn. I don't want them drawing extra cards. Like, that is a significant problem in my mind. I'm gonna bolt the Paladin, pay the Troll Toll, and then I have Ancient Grudge available for next turn, which can take out the Sentinel and pay the toll, and then it's waiting for the next thing. Saga's rough, obviously. Sigarda's aid. Oh shit, am I dead? Is there one card left in your hand and it's Hammer? Okay, it was not Hammer. Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm just gonna sit on this Ancient Grudge. Let them do stuff. And I can like Goyf plus Channel plus Grudge next turn. Just do a million things. Gotta hope they don't have Swift Boots in their hand. Ooh, they didn't attack into Endurance. That makes sense. I actually am gonna still grudge this thing. I want it dead. I don't want them drawing extra cards, and I do plan on casting a lot of spells over the next few turns. Ooh, they're gonna path their creature in response? What are they doing with this 1 mana? Oh, drawing a card. Makes sense. And Lightning Bolt, Dragon's Rage Channeler. So I can play Tarmogoyf or Dragon Rage Channeler. I can play both if I think Ancient Grudge is going to be good enough on its own. I can hold back. Alright, I'm going to bet on Ancient Grudge. We're getting Tarmogoyf. We're getting Dragon Rage Channeler. And I have Grudge or Bolt as necessary. They make a 2/2 that will be a 4/4, 5/5 with Inkmoth Nexus. An enchantment's about to go into the graveyard. They can't just grab a Hammer here. They might have to grab, like, Grafdigger's Cage or some shit. Alright. Or I'm just wrong. You got it. What's this? Giver of Runes. Sure. Alright, well, they should not attack. They didn't attack. I can destroy the Construct now, or I could destroy the Hammer later. I could also just bolt Giver now and save all these questions for later. That's the play. Yep, Bolt Giver. Another Dragon Rage Channeler. I'm gonna keep that. Just getting additional card selection with that Ancient Grudge that's already in the graveyard. We can all see it. It's right there. And I can also Snap Bolt, TRC, Breeding Pool, shock it in. We're in the damage now. Let's just enjoy it. Pure Steel Paladin punishes me if I go after the construct, but otherwise I'd prefer to go after the construct. Like, I want hammer if they have Pure Steel. I'm going after the construct. Get out. Right, graveyard. I don't need a third one of those. I don't think I need another one of those either. My job now is to win this game. I have 2 blockers and a lightning bolt this turn. I'm attacking for 8 right now. Okay, let's do it. Silent clearing. They did have a second hammer. It's fine, I can block. Surprise. Oh yeah, they couldn't get through with the poison because I have the blocker. That makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna Snapcaster, or... Oh, they had Path to Exile first. Okay. That's... So if I let this resolve first, then I don't get to Surveil 2. But if I Surveil to the top, that doesn't matter. Alright, that resolves. And then I'm gonna get an island. I think I have enough red, or... Yeah, I have enough red. I'm gonna get island. And then I'm gonna Snapcaster and bolt their face. Snapcaster. Target lightning bolt. The old bolt snap bolt tempo game. And they're out of here. That's more like it. On to round 3. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play. This one's obviously not ideal, the one lander, but I have Opt. I have a lot of 1-mana spells. I have the whole combo rolled up. Let's just hit some land drops now. I get to see 3 cards before I have to miss a land drop. Also might just randomly be able to dispel something on turn 1. I don't know what they would do on turn 1 I need to dispel, but whatever. If this was Steam Vents instead of Breeding Pool, we'd just be high-fiving everyone in the room. But it's not. Playing against a Kahira deck, by the way. Just noticed that. It could be Elementals, or it could be some combo deck just trying to throw us off. Could be a control deck. They either have no creatures or a lot of Elementals, and there's nothing in between. Just main phase fetch for Rockrin Triome. Interesting. Come on, lands. Alright, found the land. Put that on top. Let's find another one. Bauble. Okay, so I can fetch for Steam Vents. I'm just going in on making sure my mana's functional. I don't think I get the luxury of fetching basics with this hand I've kept. I get a Surveil off Bauble. Keep that on top. Let's hit those land drops. Let's get some information about what they're doing. Solitude. Okay, that doesn't answer my question over whether this is a control deck or a elemental tribal deck. All that is still on the table. But knowing they have Solitude, that validates my concern about just not having another plan. Ah, shit. Okay. Well, that's terrible. Can't dispel that one. And even if I Unholy Heat... Oh, I could Unholy Heat in response, and if I mill a sorcery or creature... Oh, actually, that kills it anyway. Oh no, I don't have red mana. Duh. Okay. That's why I was worried. Sure, that's dead. At least I get to Unholy Heat the Wrenn, though. Let's just make that dead. Remove that from the equation. Now I'm pretty worried about the Solitude, though. I really needed that Dragonroid Channeler to challenge it. Dispel counters an instant spell, but not a spell with flash. Solitude feels like an instant, but it's not actually. Is it time for Risen Reef? Oh yeah. There it is. Reef triggers. That is a look, it's not a reveal, so I don't get to peek. I am gonna have to wipe out this Reef, though. I think I just have to keep shocking in lands. Hurts, but here it is. Gotta break this up. Not negotiable. Scurry. Alright. If they're gonna break up my combo with Solitude, I'm gonna make them do it as a 2-for-1. I can't let them get to 5 mana and just blow it up for free. Unsettled Mariner. Okay. Alright, they missed a land drop. Let's hit mine. Let's go. Ooh. Okay. I can save heat for something bigger. I could also just roast this right now. with Bolt and attack for 1. I think that is the play. They've made a long pause in between me casting this Bolt and letting it resolve. It makes me think they might be thinking about an Ephemerate to save it. Okay, yep. Guess what's in my deck and my hand, and also has been waiting for a target this whole game. It's Dispel. Get out. That definitely felt good. Minor victory. I don't think that's going to save the game for me, but I'm taking it. What do you think the chances are they don't have a white card in their 5-card hand with no lands in it? Another Risen Reef. Ouch. Still no land. They might want a Solitude right now to get a trigger. Well, it's time. I'm going to take the 2 for 1. Squeaky-Jiki. Let's see if they know how this works, or if they're going to let it trigger. And what point do they break this up? Do they hit the Oak now? Do they hit the Denizen later? Okay, evoke pitching Omnath. Maybe I'm supposed to spend a turn eliminating the Reef so they don't get to recoup that card. Okay. Pass a turn. If I draw Scurry Oak at any point, I win the game. Now the Solitude's out of the way. They have Flamekin Harbinger. This is a dope combo because the Harbinger gets the tutor for a card, and then Risen Reef can put it right into your hand. This is definitely an argument that I should have spent a turn killing Risen Reef before I messed with anything else. They have a backup Solitude, so I'm not going to be able to combo them this game. Fury, yikes. Fury, pitching Omnath, okay. Yeah, if I had spent a turn roasting the Reef, they wouldn't have gotten card advantage. Like, they've drawn 2 cards now that I didn't need to let them draw. 3 cards that I didn't need to let them draw. Alright, I've lost this game. I've seen enough. Yeah, I messed that one up. I was so careful. Like, I was trying to force the 2 for 1 exchange before they got set up and could ephemerate, but by doing so, I let them keep their Reef, and yeah, there's a lot to dislike about both of those lines. Anyway, Anger of the Gods is good, Abrade's good, Unholy Heat's good, Mystical Dispute's good. I imagine Cavern of Souls is in this deck, but I don't think I bring an Alpine Moon just for that. I don't know if I want Gust. I don't want Endurance, so Endurance is out. I don't think that's what this game is about. I do have a bunch of counter spells that can protect my combo, though I do think I need to thin down on it a little bit just to be a playable deck. Snapcaster Mage might be a little risky. I don't really like Brazen Borrower. Like, bouncing their elementals isn't great because they all have ETB triggers. I like the removal. Dispel has 1 target and it's Ephemerate. I don't think that passes the bar. And I'm looking at Brazen Borrower as the last one. Remand's pretty cool, like remanding a pitch spell, and they have to pitch another card. That's like a 3 for 1 all day. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. This is probably still too many Scurry Oaks. But if they have to make weird choices, like always having Solitude or like always digging for Solitude, I'm okay with that. This hand is extremely reactive and tempo-y. Actually, I don't even know if it's fair to call it tempo-y. It just draws cards. Is drawing a card tempo? If I had turn 1 Dragon's Rage Channeler, this hand would be tempo-y. Instead, it's just Opti. I'm gonna get a basic. I have my colors set up in my hand. I don't need to take extra damage right now. Opt. Just looking for spells. Almost any spell will do. Yeah, I'll keep that. It'll be good eventually. We're gonna get there with this hand. The remand's pretty cool. Another one. I'm gonna leave up the option to remand, or I can just fetch and opt. But I can remand into Cryptic. I've bridged that gap up. Your deck doesn't do a lot before turn 3. They have the Unsettled Mariner, if anything. I'm gonna fetch a tapped Steam Vent, and then opt. Opt found Tarmogoyf. I am gonna keep that. I have to hold up remand this turn, and then I can Goyf next turn with Remand still up, and then untap with Cryptic Command with Tarmogoyf still around. This is the reverse end of a tempo deck. Like, sometimes they just have turn 1 Dragon Rage Channeler, Remand 2 your spells, and you're dead. And sometimes they Remand 2 your spells, and then cast a turn 4 Tarmogoyf, and it doesn't matter. Oh god. There is Cavern. And they held it just this long. Oh good. That's not an elemental. Get out. Teferi, huh? Don't love that. I'm gonna play a Misty and a Goyf. I could just jam both Goyfs, but them having Teferi makes me a little worried about that. Like if they just Teferi, bounce Goyf, one of the Goyfs, Teferi dies to the other one, or they have Solitude and then I'm just dead. Hope they go for Teferi again. Oh, they're fetching. This feels like Omnath to me. Oh, it's Teferi again. Cool. Deal. I think I want another Stomping Ground. Make sure all my colors are there. I still have triple blue. Or I just tapped, or just, if I had gotten Steam Vents there or Breeding Pool, yeah, I think Breeding Pool is better, because then I can Serum Vision plus Cryptic next turn. And now I can't do both. They could Mystical Dispute to protect this Teferi. They clearly fetched on purpose. They could also, like, Solitude plus Ephemerate just to clear Tarmogoyf. But that's a pretty low value Ephemerate in that spot. Like, without Risen Reef recouping all of this stuff, that's just a 3 for 1. Or 3 for 2, because you get the body as well. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with myself for counting my blue sources just a little too late. Not being able to Serum Vision and Cryptic next turn is going to be pretty harsh. Remand this as we drew it up. Lightning Bolt does break up the Solitude Ephemerate combo, and it's an extra. It's a 1 mana spell I can play and still leave up Cryptic Command. We haven't completely blown it here. And I can fetch a basic island. Like, Shocking the Sin just gives away exactly what I'm up to. Attack with my 2/3. Take your damage. Then pass the turn. I'm pretty worried about this Cavern, not gonna lie. There are still only instants and lands in the graveyard. This whole game has been played in such a fashion. Hopefully there will be a Planeswalker this turn. They just go for Teferi again. 3rd time's a charm, right? Okay, they finally cast an Elemental. And it's a good one. Can't counter it. And the fetch land. Omnath is so fucked up. I'm out here trying to play Tarmogoyf in a format with Omnath. He did shock there. Scurry is not going to resolve. At least not on my watch. Not if I can help it. I think counter draw is the play. If this green floating is for Veil of Summer, I'm dead. They don't have blue floating for Mystical Dispute. If they do try to, like, Solitude Ephemerate, I have Lightning Bolt for that. Goyf just became a 3, and Bauble makes it 4. Serum Vision makes it 5. Ooh, Snap Cryptic, is that the line? Or is it Bauble? Is it just Jam Goyf? Hope we get in there. I mean, hoping to overrun an Omnath seems risky. I'm gonna attack, see if I can trick them into blocking. They didn't block. I'm surprised. Bobble them. They're drawing Solitude. Perfect. Exactly the card that I didn't want to play against. I think I have to start trying to overwhelm that Solitude with more creatures. Like so, I guess. So, if I go top, I can draw the Channeler. This is a lot of that. Alright, bottom. Do I need a 3rd Tarmogoyf? Maybe. Okay, Dragon Rage Channeler, Tarmogoyf. I can at least bolt the Solitude before it gets ephemerated. That's the line I'm lining up here. Like, they're gonna get at least the Exile. I don't have to give them the Ephemerate. Okay, Solitude pitching Unsettled Mariner. Presumably they're gonna go for an Ephemerate here. Do what I can do. There's the Ephemerate, here's the Lightning Bolt. Nobody should be surprised by any of this. And I do want this Goyf on top, because they have another Solitude coming. Ephemerate fizzles. Solitude dies, Goyf's in play, pass the turn. I draw this Goyf. And then they draw the Solitude that I'm sure they're just high-fiving all their friends over. Main phase. Don't trust their cavern to get it done. That lets Omnath attack, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. Not gonna block Omnath. I'm at 1,000,000 life from all of these Solitudes, so I don't need to do any chump blocking right now. Dragon's Rage Channeler has to fight. I'm gonna leave up Snap Cryptic right now while I can. I'm gonna play the Goyf. I can't leave up Snap Cryptic and play Goyf, so I'll leave up Snap Remand or Snap Bolt and get my Goyf in there. That will at least break up Ephemerate, even if it won't break up any elemental spell. Like, they have Omnath in play and didn't play a land last turn, which makes me think they don't have one. Or they're just charging up for an insane Omnath turn, and they didn't need to make a land drop last turn. Alright, the play is Engineered Explosives on 2. I can remand that. They have another land. They have another land, but if not, this is pretty good. And they didn't have the land last turn. I'm pretty confident about. This could also be bait for an Ephemerate. Now they're going to Ephemerate Solitude and just bury me. But I'm buried anyway. I get to target remand. If they have Endurance, my Snapcaster doesn't work. Okay, it looks like they don't have that. Remand your spell. Dragon's Rage Channeler triggers. I get to see a card, then decide if I want to draw it with the remand. Lightning Bolt. They are at 9. I'm going to put that on top. Gotta get this game over with. I'm not going to survive another turn. Yeah, okay. They did have the big baity Ephemerate. That's fine. They exile Tarmogoyf. I draw Lightning Bolt, and then there's another card under that I'm going to draw for my turn. Okay, they also have Fury to just wipe out my entire board. Alright, I made a good run of it. I get a draw for my turn. If it's Unholy Heat, we might actually be stable. Hey, it's Unholy Heat. Are we stable? Okay, I'm gonna pass and let them resolve their Ephemerate, or cast their Ephemerate. It's not gonna resolve. They probably target Omnath just to draw the card. Guess I could have heated Omnath on my own turn, because Ephemerating Solitude just doesn't matter on this board. Weird. Weird game. Risen Reef. That one's a problem. I'm gonna let the trigger resolve. I can respond to the next elemental with Lightning Bolt if I don't want them to draw a card. I'm gonna have to just absorb the life gain, is what it is. I have to bolt this first, unfortunately. They can just find another one with Harbinger if they want. Yeah, Harbinger's real good. I wonder if you get Reef or if you get Omnath here, or if there's just something even more busted. Do you just get Solitude to make sure you don't die to the next thing? Reef makes a lot of sense. Alright, I can bolt the Reef again. I'm just slowly falling farther and farther behind on cards. And I'm behind on board at this point. This Elementals deck is really cool. I had a Blood Moon in the sideboard during one of the iterations when I was working on this deck, and decided to cut it because I had the 2 Alpine Moons. This is definitely a matchup where you want Blood Moon. I am going to bolt right now this time, because I don't believe they have Ephemerate in their hand, or they would have cast it already, and I don't want them to be able to draw it off this trigger. Ren and 6, okay. I wasn't dead already. Bought back a land. It's interesting they played it right away. Don't you slow roll that in case you draw Omnath? I guess you have Ren and 6, you don't need to slow roll land drops. If deck thinning is just more important right now, which might be true. Bobble you, another Solitude. Alright. I couldn't beat the board as it is. Stop drawing your best cards. Okay, I'm dead. They have Ren going, they have the second Solitude. Sentry Oak gives me the small amount of hope that I would have by drawing Sentry Oak is stifled by this Solitude in their hand. Alright, that was a good match though. On the draw in the 4th round, I'm going to keep this one. This is a perfectly reasonable rug hand. This hand does look like it's straight out of 2015, though. Like, other than the Mishra's Bauble, which was in print, but people didn't really know about it yet, that just doesn't seem great. I get to do the scry trick, though. I'm going to target myself. Stomping Ground, I do actually want that. And then I can pass. I draw a card with... Okay, they targeted me. Clever. Yeah, they knew I wanted that. That's usually cuter than it needs to be, like that play. And it's fine, whatever, but good one. I'm gonna fetch for a Steam Vents. Hope I don't get Shadow of Doubted here. Steam Vents, opt. Do I want another opt? Yeah, sure. I have land drops. I have a land drop to make here. Ooh. Would have preferred being able to cast both of these cards, but it's cool. Oh, I should have Serum Visioned before I played my land. Then I might have still been able to play Dragon Rage Channeler. I'm gonna Serum Visions now. I don't need to hold up mana for anything. Scurry Oak, Unholy Heat, bottom. I actually don't want any of this. I could have cast a second Serum Visions or held up Opt if I had slowed down on my land drop. In my head, I was just like, yeah, I'm playing Opt, but obviously the other half of the play matters a lot too. I can Endurance in their end step. Does that matter? Endurance in my end, or yeah, in their end step. Target me probably. What is this? Whatever it is, I'm gonna Endurance in response to it probably. If they jam like Jace the Mind Sculptor, I guess that could be painful. I just don't know what deck in Modern right now has 2 Sunken Ruins in it. Archmage's Charm for them to draw 2. I'm going to Endurance target myself. Now in the end step, that'll turn off Drown in the Lock, which I imagine is a card in their deck. If they do shove Jace, they have to bounce Endurance or Plus to keep Jace alive, and I have Lightning Bolt to finish it off either way. Fatal Push, sure. That's a 1-for-1 that made them spend mana on their own turn. That does regrettably also turn on Drown in the Lock on Dragon Rage Channeler. I'm going to cast it all the same. I don't think I'm going to win this game by holding up Cryptic Command against what they're doing. Opt? Yeah, I'll take it. It's another trigger for Channeler. Brazen Borrower or Lightning Bolt? I don't think I want Lightning Bolt in this matchup. I am pretty interested in Brazen Borrower, though. Just a flash threat that can get in there. Okay, I have to win this game somehow. Or are they going to steal my Channeler? Oh, they had Drown the whole time and still let me do that. That's interesting. Why? I don't know. They could have just countered that, but instead they let it resolve and let me do a bunch of stuff. I guess if I had a scarier thing after that, I don't know. Not sure I buy that one. I'm going to opt to keep Velocity moving forward here. I know I'm drawing Brazen Borrower, but it would be great if I had a land as well. Ooh, Dispel. That'll be good eventually. I'm going to opt now to try to hit my land drop. Got there. And I think I play this tapped. It's just not really doing anything else. I could jam the Scurry Oak and let them really think about it. I'm doing that. Scurry Oak in play. I wouldn't have made this play if I didn't have Dispel. I just think that fighting over a Cryptic Command, if they have that, would be pretty exciting. It's important to note that they're not a Lurrus deck. They have no companion. So they have some permanent in their deck that costs a lot. I still think I can do better on Dispel than that card. Scurry Oak was definitely run out there just as a 1-for-1 opportunity. Cool. I'm going to Brazen Borrower in their end step and start beating. Maybe they'll cycle Shark Typhoon and just give me full value. It's the Petty Theft and then the Brazen Bee on the front end. Doesn't look like it. I wish I had one more land, but I'm just going to go. If I had one more land, I could remand my own Brazen Borrower if they try to counter it, which is an old control mirror trick. But this just runs into 2 counter spells. I'm remanding my Brazen Borrower here, not their counter spell, because they could just recast it. And this, I end up with all those cards in hand, and they still don't have their counterspell. I think they didn't realize what was happening. Like, counterspell gets actually countered this way, and the tempo, the speed doesn't actually matter. Unless they have some sort of card here. Oh, Into the Story. Sure. Alright. They're using this opportunity to draw 4 cards. That would have been a great target for Dispel. I had a sweet little 2-for-1. They're just like, yeah, I'll draw 4. Okay, deal. Tarmogoyf, get in there. Sneak in there under the Watchful Eye of Drown in the Loch. Yeah, I think if I had 1 more mana to Dispel that Into the Story, the game would have just ended. This is still not what I'm going to Dispel. I have multiple flash threats. I got stuff to do here. I need to stop the Into the Story kind of stuff from happening. I really wish I found a land along the way, but it's alright. I have another remand. We get to do another fun little dance. This is a no. Dispel that. And now I can snap Dispel. Wing to Dust, targeting their own polluted delta. Okay, if they're doing this, that means I want to Snapcaster now. If I snap Opt right now, then they don't get to Cling my Opt in the future. But Cling does cost a whole bunch of mana. I'm gonna leave that in there and just sit on the Snapcaster for a little while. Another Into the Story. Again, I'm a mana short, missing this 1 land drop, so I can't also just remand here is heartbreaking. But here's Snapcaster Mage. I'm gonna go for the Dispel. I can also remand Into the Story if they counter this. I think going for Dispel is better than going for remand here, because I want this countered for good. Wow, they're just conceding to that? Ow. We had so much more game to play there. They have 5 cards in their hand and Cling to Dust in the graveyard. They're at 15. Okay. I mean, it's your game to play, but I'll take that. Sure. We appear to be playing against... I don't know if it's actually rogues or if it's just a blue-black control deck with Into the Story in it, but that Dispel is really good. Again, I think we have to cut the combo just to be a presentable deck. Sorry, combo. It went off. No complaining. We actually did it. We got to go off with it. Gust isn't going to have any targets. Chalice on... There's no number that's good for Chalice here. That's just not the play. The Mystical Disputes, Endurance, and Brazen Borrower are coming in. I just really didn't pack hate for a matchup like this. Like, Unholy Heat, I guess there's a good chance they have Planeswalkers in the deck. They're not a Lurrus deck, which means there are permanents in this deck somewhere, and they're either Planeswalkers or rogue creatures. Either way, I want to remove them. You don't need to show it to me. I know it's there. It is funny how much more presentable this deck gets when you're not playing the combo. Ugh. This is a mulligan. I can't keep this forest hand. Come on. Okay. Keep this one. I could send the baubles, because, like, not sending the baubles, or I don't know if I want basic mountain that much. Alright, I'm going to send mountain and I guess cryptic. Like, it's a 4 mana spell. I'll see it later. I just really need to hit my land drops in the meantime. I just don't think this opponent is going to do anything that cheeses me out quick. They led on Hall of the Storm Giants. For 6 mana, it becomes a 7/7 blue giant with Ward 3. It's still a land. That's pretty big, eventually. Is that their win condition? So, Bauble. Bauble you. They're drawing a polluted delta. Good to know. I'm going to cast Serum Visions. They could be doing the Thought Scour thing again, which, I mean, will mess up my Serum Visions, but whatever. It's not a huge deal. Oh cool, I'm going to bottom both anyway. Perfectly played around the Thought Scour play. Bobble them again. I could have probably done this in their draw step to see more information. That also plays around discard a little bit. Yeah, I should have done that. We haven't seen discard yet, but that definitely doesn't mean they don't have it. Channeler and land. That's pretty good. I can go Channeler and protect it with Dispel. That's actually super nice. Channeler. Pass. They fetched black. They took some damage to do it. Not on my watch. I'm playing a lot more aggressively this time than I did in the game 1 because I'm behind on cards. And I'm just trying to make sure I get triggers and hit my land drops. Like, they see that I'm behind on cards. It's like very clear. They have 3 lands, 4 cards in hand to my much less than that. Now it's time to settle in. Play draw go for a while. I could jam this Goyf. I guess that's fine. Gotta win the game somehow. I have Remand to protect it. I have a lot of red and a lot of blue already. I think Breeding Pool's better. The deck is blue hungry more than it's red hungry. Here's Goyf. Pass a turn. Fatal Push. Yeah. Remanding that doesn't do anything. Archmage's Charm to draw 2. That's fine. The way I can get value off this remand is if they try to counter Tarmogoyf and I remand my Goyf. If they just cast a kill spell, it's whatever. It's gone. Ground in the lock. Yep, it's gone. I can't just spew off remand. Like, they can even just recast it now. It's not even like I get to untap with it or anything. I'll eventually want to fight over Into the Story or something they can't replay right away. I'm definitely behind and kind of stuck behind at this point. I'm playing out my land because if I remand something and draw a Cryptic, then I have enough mana to do both. Yeah. Gotta try where I can try here. If they counter this, I'm probably just dead. Sure. Draw 4 cards. That's pretty powerful stuff. I'm gonna fetch now just to get some F6 value, but we're playing this game out. I haven't seen a win condition other than their creature land yet. I haven't seen why they're not a Luris deck yet. I want to see that Jace. I want to see whatever. Murktide Region. Alright. Good to know. That is exactly what I was looking for. Exactly what I wanted to know. Opt. Brazen Borrower can buy me some time. Oh yeah, they're just like, fuck you, buddy. Counter your spell. And then they can activate their creature land and attack with Murktide here for 15. Yeah, I gotta get under this deck a lot better than I did that game. It's sideboard for game 3. I can bring in the Alpine Moons to turn off their halls. I imagine that's some number of win conditions that they no longer have. Unholy Heat is looking pretty bad. It doesn't hit their hall. Or I guess it does hit the hall. No, it's a 7/7. It doesn't hit the hall. It doesn't hit Murktide. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this change. A keepable hand, so I will keep it. I love not mauling to 5. Bobble myself. Misty Rainforest on top. I'll take it. Play the other one. Land drops are always welcome at this phase of the game, and almost every phase of the game, except when I'm in top deck mode and dying. Then I don't want them anymore. We're gonna get Breeding Pool off of this. I'm holding Steam Vents. I'm holding my double green card. They can't Spell Pierce here. They can't... I haven't seen Spell Snare. I guess they could have it, but they don't have black up to Fatal Push right away. Put Tarmogoyf in the freaking play right now. Okay, it's black mana now or never off that River of Tears. Alright, they had it. I get to Endurance myself now, though, like while they're tapped awkward. And they're not going to be able to counter this. Put these cards back into my deck. Misty Rainforest can shuffle them in there. And then I'm untapping into Mystical Dispute, Cryptic, all sorts of gas. I gotta keep my foot on the pedal. This is how you win a matchup like this. Playing draw go against them isn't gonna work. You do need to commit to the board early and often. That was a good Fatal Push. Alright, now it's time to flash in their end step. They're opting. They bottomed that. They're scouring me. Yeah, that's fine. They milled a Snapcaster. They're clearly telegraphing Drown in the Lock, or else they wouldn't have cared about that. Here's my Brazen Borrower. I have Mystical Dispute for Drown. I'll go for the Dispute on this. I think I will get a basic at this point. All my other stuff is set up, and life points might matter. Borrower's in there. Didn't really expect that. I am going to shock this in. That gives me Cryptic plus Mystical Dispute. In we go. Now it's time to clock. Tempo, tempo. The third or fourth threat will stick, maybe. Oh, they're turbo milling me because Into the Story's in their deck. Yeah, duh. Obviously. Attack. I'm gonna keep running out lands. They did show me Spell Pierce last game. Gonna be a devastating Mystical Dispute. Oh, no, it's not. I'm gonna counter draw. Yeah, they took some damage to play around Dispute. That's pretty smart. See if it matters. Counter target spell. Nope. I left one red open, but we were in my end step. This is the sort of exchange they want to make, though, because now they're just like wide open for Into the Story. I'm going to play this before combat, because if I need to opt into a counter spell or anything, I want to know that's the plan. I could opt now looking for extra creatures. Yeah, I have enough sorcery speed things to do in the deck that opting now makes sense. Top card is Brazen Borrower. Leave that right there. Now let's keep the threats pumping. Oh, they just did nothing on their turn or on my turn. That's kind of terrifying and also kind of a relief. They're just making a 7/7 with Ward 3, so I can chump. I have 3 card types in my graveyard. If I draw a sorcery, I win the game. Like if I don't chump, if I just end step Brazen Borrower and then draw a sorcery, wins. Draw a bauble, wins. Draw an instant that mills. Alright. I'm just going to take the damage. Flash in Brazen Borrower. And hope to draw Serum Visions or bauble. Or some way to put them in the graveyard. Endurance, not quite it. I'm going to attack for 6. And then Endurance myself. That gives me 2 blockers, turns off Drown in the Lock. It turns off Dragon's Rage Channeler forever, like it's never going to get Delirious, but that's okay. It turns off Into the Story. Yeah, they gave up. They're done. That was actually a really great match of 2015 Modern that we just played. I'm glad we came out on top of that one. Last round's coming. On the draw in the final round, playing for the positive record. I'm going to keep this Blazer. Uh-oh, Scalding Tarn. My only weakness. Are they the actual Dragon Rage Channeler deck? And we're just the fake Dragon Rage Channeler deck? Dragon Rage Channeler is just a decoy for Squeaky-Jiki. They top bottom that Serum Visions. Alright, cool. I'm gonna shock in Steam Vents, play Dragon Rage Channeler, and get multiple triggers off it immediately. Ooh. Yeah, sorry. Not ready for you. My opponent should be like, what the fuck at this point. They kept the card on top. It's Thought Scour. Okay. Play another one of these. Snapcaster Mage. I actually do want that one. And Snapcaster will eventually be pretty good. They draw Thought Scour. I can bobble them again for more information. And they're going to Thought Scour themselves, so I'm not really getting any information. Pyro Ascension. Fascinating. Okay, I will get some information after all. Opt is on top of their deck. Alright, they're up to some shenanigans. We're both a combo deck, turns out. If I opt Serum Visions, my Dragon Rage Channeler is on, or I could just jam Tarmogoyf right now while the getting's good. Just put a 4/5 into play when they can't interact with it meaningfully. I think that's the line. Gonna have to bash through this deck. Like next turn I can fetch, cast Serum Visions, Dragon Rage Channeler is on, and I'm holding up Remand. Remand's pretty embarrassing against Pyromancer Ascension, but I do need to get this clock on. Like right now. They Thought Scoured, milling, another Thought Scour, and a Manamorphose. They have no repeats yet. Okay, Thought Scour is another repeat. They had 2 of them. This activates on 2. They just milled with Serum Visions. And they're passing the turn. Okay. I do have to crack my fetch land here to get Dragon Rage Channeler guaranteed operational. I'm gonna get Basic Island. I don't want to risk dying to Lightning Bolt at this point. Sorcery. This will give me my 4th card type. Mill the land. Serum Visions. Dispel and Serum Visions. I don't need another Visions. I am kind of interested in the Dispel. Attack. They take 8, they go to 5. They gotta win right now. Let's hope they can't do that. There's not an opt in the graveyard, so this is just a down and dirty little opt. Maybe I'm supposed to remand that. I kept a card on top. If I remand a copy of a spell, it's just gone. So remand's kind of a hard counter on like the bonus copy of these cards, which doesn't feel great. Just gotta try not to get burned out from right now. They're cracking their fetch land. 4 life remains. Opt. That turns on the pyro. Time to get disgusting. Let's hope holding the remand for the actual payoff turn is worth more than remanding that opt in their last end step. Okay, I'm not sure why we just got to untap, but I'll take it. Because now I can remand something which draws Dispel. So you get this copy. I'm going to remand the copy. And Dragon Rage Channeler, I'm going to keep Dispel on top. So remand the copy. I've drawn Dispel now. My Goyf can have 3 damage on it, that's fine. Draw for turn. Unholy Heat, targeting Goyf. And are they going to split the difference, move one over to DRC? No, they're just mono-targeting Goyf here. Oh, they don't have Delirium. That's the problem. They have 3 card types. So I'm going to let the copy resolve, dispel the actual one. If they were going to do this, they should have responded to remand before I draw a card. They just gave me that extra look and it was everything. Ooh, tight one. Force of Vigor answers Pyromancer Ascension. Endurance can slow it down. Engineered Explosives can remove it. Brazen Borrower can remove it. Aether Gust can remove it. Mystical Dispute seems relevant here. Unholy Heat seems not relevant. They could just juke me into a thing in the ice deck, but okay. Everything I brought in, except for Brazen Borrower, also answers, or I guess the Brazen Borrower and the Force of Vigor are both not great against Thing in the Ice. I'll leave in a small amount of the combo, just to give it a chance. But what am I cutting? I don't know, I'd rather have a positive record with the league than continue to squeak and jeek. Sorry, Heinz. We did it once. Count it. This is going to be my deck for the final game of this league, I hope. Force of Vigor with no green card, Snapcaster with no spells. This is a mulligan. This is a keep. I'm going to send Cryptic to the bottom. It's just the clunkiest of the cards in my hand. Drew another Cryptic immediately. Moto Bug. I only played 2. They're both here. Here's my Channeler. Please don't Lightning Bolt it right away. Or Unholy Heat it, you wise guy. Alright, please cast Opt or Thought Scour. Ooh, okay, fine. Fine. And is it time for Thing in the Ice? Did we get juked, or are they still on Ascension? Alright, they're still on Ascension, okay. Good information to have. My hand sucks right now. Really needed Tarmogoyf right there. I'm ready to Mystical Dispute anything. Like Thought Scour, bam, getting disputed. Doesn't matter. Yeah, get out of here. Thought Scour just fuels the Ascension so hard. I'll trade 1 for 1 with that. Oh, they're Flusterstorming it? Alright, well, I'm gonna dispute it again. I'm gonna get the Breeding Pool. This could be a Blood Moon deck we're playing against. I'm just gonna hope that it's not. I counter that also. If it's important to you, it's important to me. Draw a land. ERC might be better than a land. Let's go. They have 3 cards left in their hand over there. Snapcaster. I think they have to Lightning Bolt. Yeah, just to be alive. And Lightning Bolt will leave the graveyard before Pyromancer Ascension sees it. Yeah, I mean, I'll take out your Snapcaster also. We're just rolling around in the muck here. I can remove Ascension eventually. Expressive Iteration, that's a good one. I considered putting it in this deck, but I kind of wanted that like 2015 modern feel. Expressive Iteration is just like a very different card that you want to be under it before you start casting it, not like building up for later. That just didn't fit the vibe of this deck. Ooh, are they playing a second Ascension? Vigor. Okay. Alright, I can Snapcaster stuff now, whether it's Lightning Bolt or Mystical Dispute. And if I draw a land, I can force for full value, just hard cast 2 for 1. Serum Visions. They top bottomed that. I'm gonna draw, I'm not gonna fetch because I want as many lands as possible in my deck. Alright, well, I'll run this out. Hope they don't get their things online this turn. And there's no answers to Dragon Rage Channeler in the graveyard. Remand, okay. Let's give that back to me. I have to fetch a Stomping Ground here because I want red available for, or green available for the Force of Vigor, but I do want to keep the pressure on with DRC. Really hope they don't have another remand here. Okay. No problem. Oh no, Thought Scour is kind of a problem. 1 counter on these things. They untapped. I didn't die right away. Oh god, another one. 1 card left in their hand. Come on, deck. How about that land? Well, I will still cast Opt all the same. Ooh, top. This is at least a green card that I can pitch. Oh, no. So they went Hellbent to counter my Opt and turn on their... Oh, wait, no. It's not even on. This is just 2. I can pay. They just went to turn on their Pyromancer Ascensions, and they're gonna be the mayor of Blowout City in like 1 second here. Hey, draw the green card I left on top. I'm gonna attack for 1 and then stop them in their upkeep and destroy all of their hopes and dreams. And right here in your upkeep, when you can't do anything, cast by exiling a green card, bang bang. Zap. Tarmogoyf. Do I want that? Yeah. I gotta win this game now, and Tarmogoyf is thick AF. There's no better candidate to win this game than Tarmogoyf. There it is. 5-6. Just took them from a 12-turn clock to a 2-turn clock. If I draw a land, I'm holding up Cryptic. Or I could just draw Cryptic. That's also cool, I guess. Here come these. I can Mystical Dispute or Lightning Bolt or Opt out of the graveyard with Snapcaster. I'm probably just going to do that in the end step. Or not. No, if I don't need to cast a spell, I'm not going to. I would hate for them to give them a remand, which turns on their Ascension. Okay, here we go. Now I have Cryptic to back up this lethal attack. And they have 1 card in hand. GG's. Positive record with Squeaky-Jiki. Kinda. Positive record with Rug Tempo featuring Squeaky-Jiki that went off once. Okay. Postmortem for this deck. We did get to combo. We also demanded some removal on the combo in other places where we weren't comboing. There was, I think, at least 1 situation where drawing to the combo was our only out. So the combo's not nothing. However, it is also not like great. This is no Splinter Twin compared to like Pestermite and actual Splinter Twin. But I would like to point out that the Splinter Twin decks, even the actual Splinter Twin decks, frequently sideboarded out Splinter Twin and Pestermite in Game 2 and Game 3 and just became a blue-red control deck. After you show your opponent that you're a combo deck in round 1, or in Game 1, then you pivot off and you just do something different in Game 3. And sometimes they would leave in like their Pestermites and Deceivers and like 1 Splinter Twin just in case it's good, but like they didn't want to draw it if it wasn't good. There were a lot of Combusts flying around at the time and Rending Volleys, and you just don't want to run into that stuff, so you just get off it. And this deck did mimic that play pattern extremely well. We were a reasonable tempo deck. We challenged removal spells, we demanded answers early on the curve, fixed our draws in interesting ways, and then also had a combo that they had to respect. Whether they thought it was still in the deck or not, had to respect it, which is pretty cool. And I have sort of missed this play pattern. I'm not advocating for Splinter Twin to get unbanned. I'm firmly not in that camp, but I do think that this play pattern is a lot of fun, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it. This was some, like I keep saying, some 2015, 2014 modern Magic, and it was pretty cool. That we split the games against Hammer Time. Like, we lost when their opening hand just had 2 hammers in it. Like, okay, whatever. We win that game if they don't have hammer. Like, their core just gets eaten by endurance and then they're dead. So, and we won the other one like pretty convincingly. So we can see how that would work out. This deck does have the tools to fight, and it's just rug, it's teamer. Like, you can move the tools around to be different. Like, you could turn this Anger of the Gods into Kozilek's Return, and that checks the Core Sanctifier box. That also doesn't kill your own Dragon Rage Channeler. Kozilek's Return is probably just better, honestly, than Anger. I was just working off some old muscle memory, but you probably just want that one instead. Also, being an instant matters. And the rest of this stuff, seasoned to taste. You can change the sideboard however you like. The main deck felt pretty cool. You could play Ragavan in this deck. I didn't want to go that far. Like, this Dragon Rage Channeler could just be Ragavan, though I think DRC is actually better because it helps you dig for combo pieces, where Ragavan, if it connects, it ramps you. But this deck isn't really dedicated to connecting with Ragavan. Like, we're perfectly happy not attacking with Dragon's Rage Channeler and just casting Remand, getting card selection, getting card draw, etc., eventually growing it. We would be extremely unhappy any turn where Ragavan's not turning sideways, so that is a consideration there, and I think Dragon Rage Channeler is the right card for this particular slot. Okay, that's the deck. Heinz, thank you for asking me to play it. I hope you enjoyed the league. I hope everyone else enjoyed it too. We got to Squeaky-Jiki once. I'm counting that as a big win. Like and subscribe to the channel while you're here. If you want to support the channel even more, if you want me to play your crazy deck, join the YouTube membership or Patreon, send me a message, we can set that up. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.